Hey, this is Manuela. So I told you about a dream I had a couple months ago, and then one I had right after that, but then I had another one after I had that one. And I was kind of iffy about recording that dream because it's just that disturbing. So I think there's something to it. I don't know what, but if you don't believe that we're in the end times, or if you don't believe that as Christians we're coming on something serious, then just move on to another video. Just move on. And if you don't want to be disturbed, then don't stop. Don't just cruise on to another video. So here we go. So I was in a doctor's office. It looked just like a doctor's office, like in an office building. And everything was real clean, real crisp. And there was, it was just like being in like a doctor's office or a psychologist's, therapist's office with a receptionist, and it was real, had pictures on the wall. It was real fancy, like a really nice doctor's office. And so I was not actually a participant in the dream. I was like a pair of eyes that was just kind of observing. And it's like I kind of had free reign to just walk around or move around and just look at things. And there were all kinds of, in the office, there were a bunch of men, probably 7 or 8 men, and they were waiting to be called back, just like you do in a doctor's office. And the receptionist, she was real sweet. She was female, and every time someone would come in, she'd be like, okay, your copay's this much money, and, how you doing? Just like the typical doctor's office visit. And the men, it's like maybe it was a small town, because it seemed like the men knew each other, or they'd come in and they'd be like, hi, how you doing? How's the missus? Oh, we're fine. Daughter's going to college and all that kind of stuff. And there were all nationalities. There was, there were Mexicans and whites and blacks, and seems like I remember an Asian. And I mean, there was quite a few men in there. Real friendly. Everybody was so friendly to each other. And so I went to follow, or the nurse or whoever opened the door and called the next person back, and I went behind this person in through the little door. And as we went down this little hallway, there was each room had a rectangular shaped observation window, like in schools, like schools have. And as I was going behind this person, I was looking into each room. Okay, so if you don't want to be disturbed, now's the time to just turn the video off. Okay, just turn it off. Nothing to see here. Okay, but in each room was like you've been to doctor's offices, how the rooms are real small, and there's a table to lay on or whatever with a cushion on top and a chair, and each room had a window. But the thing that was so disturbing, and before I tell you what was there, the men, when they were in the main lobby waiting area, they were excited about coming to their appointments. Oh, I've been waiting for my appointment. I really needed this. I was starting to get really stressed. I really needed it. That's what made me think that it was a psychologist or a therapist's office or something. So anyway, I'm walking behind this man, or I'm behind this man, and I'm looking in the windows. And in the first little window, there's a little boy, and he's sitting in a chair, and it's a little blonde-haired boy, and he's tied up, and he's got a gag over his mouth. And he looks terrified. He looks absolutely terrified. In the next room, there was a woman, and she was hanging from something from the ceiling. I mean, not like a hook or anything, but she was like tied up from a swing or something from the ceiling. And she had a gag over her mouth. All the people had gags over their mouths, everyone in each room. And she was tied up with like leather straps, and like you could see how she was real tight, everything was real tight, and like the leather straps across her breasts, and like head to toe, like she was in a cocoon, and she, you could see flesh. I mean, like the straps weren't right close to each other. They were kind of spread apart, and you could see like the straps were so tight that her flesh was bulging out, and it was real red, like she'd been smacked or hit. And she just looked completely dazed, totally dazed, and it was just like vulgar. It was just disgusting. And she, in my mind, I knew she'd been sexually abused, and the kids too. And then going on down the hall, there in the next room there was a little black girl, and she was tied up, and she, the same thing with her. And I remember I was just sick. I couldn't believe it. I was just appalled. And it seemed like this was like a good thing, like it was good, it was accepted for these people, for these men to pay to come in to abuse these people. And then the next thing I know, I'm like in one of those rooms, and I'm standing there, and I'm me. I'm a person. I'm a participant in the dream now, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to let that happen to me. I'm not going to let that happen to me. And I'm praying, Jesus, you got to help me. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this is going to happen. Just do not renounce my name. But then at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'm not just going to lay down and let this happen to me. So I'm not tied up or anything yet. It's about to happen, and I know it's going to happen. And I'm like looking at this window. The window was, big window like there was in every room. And there was like a big field, a big pasture in the background. And there were trees and mountains. And they might have been just trees. It was a big open pasture or a field. And then I'm not sure if it was like a big, I'm gesturing with my hands, I'm not sure if it was a big mountain or just tall trees and whatever, but I can also see the sky in the background. I'm on an upper floor, not on the ground floor, I'm on an upper floor, and I remember thinking, okay, there's the sun, so that way must be east. Okay, I know I need to run that way to get home. And so I'm like making this plan in my mind, and I'm thinking, okay, is the window, can I open the window? Do I smash through the window? What can, and I'm like making these plans in my mind. And I was scared, but at the same time I wasn't scared, and I wasn't going to go down easy. I was going to fight. I wasn't just going to let them do that to me. And so anyway, I woke up, and as soon as I woke up, I hear something. I mean, I guess it was just a thought, but or maybe it was my own thought. But it occurred to me, those are Christians. Those people are Christians. So, the Bible says what has happened will happen. Solomon, it says it in Proverbs. What has happened will happen. What has happened in what is it? You know what I'm talking about. I just can't think of it right now. What has happened will happen. What will happen has happened in the past, or something like that. And not long after I had this dream, I looked in. I was trying to study Jewish, the 613 laws that they have, the mitzvahs and all that kind of stuff. And I came across something that said, in the days of Lot, one of the reasons that Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed is because the judges of those cities actually passed laws to make it legal for, one of the things that they said, one of the reasons the Jews believe Sodom was destroyed was they would have, like in the center of town, they would have these areas or beds or whatever where if a stranger came in, and I don't remember the specifics, but it was legal to take those men and lay them in that area and rape them as they, like newcomers to the town. And so I was thinking, well, if that's why Sodom was destroyed, it happened in the past, what's so hard to believe that it would happen in the future? And the Bible says the world's going to be destroyed. I mean, it'll be 1,000, after the reign of the millennial reign, then it's going to be, rolled up like a scroll. But things are gonna, the tribulation, don't call it the tribulation for nothing. But I don't know what it means. I don't know if it means anything. But I know when I woke up, I just couldn't. I cried so hard that I woke my husband up, and I just cried and cried so hard that I couldn't even, that my chest hurt. And, that was, in the wee hours of the morning when I woke up. It seems like things happen at around 2 and 3 o'clock whenever I have these dreams. But I just cried so hard I couldn't stop crying, and I cried all night long. And, in fact, my husband, when I finally went to sleep, my husband got our kids up to school. He just let me sleep. But I believe there was something to the dream. I do. But, what I got from this is, well, that would definitely, if persecution came like that for Christians, that would definitely cause a falling away, wouldn't it? So anyway, yep, that was my dream, and I'll try to keep recording them as they come. Talk to you later. Bye.